Hi geeks and gamers, welcome to Archives Media. When building the perfect gaming computer, you're going to want to put some thought into what GPU will work best in your system. Oftentimes, GPUs are the most crucial components for a game's performance and can sometimes be a little tricky to purchase as there's so many different options out there. And with different price points and variations of GPUs out there, you definitely don't want to drop a bunch of money on a GPU just to find out that the games you want to play don't run at the quality that you expected. That being said, today we are counting down our picks for the top 5 best Nvidia graphics cards to buy in 2018, but if you'd rather have an AMD graphics card list, check out the list we're going to have up in just a few days, where we picked the best AMD graphics cards on the market. Let's get into our list. Number 5, the GTX 1050 Ti. The GTX 1050 used to be the go-to budget GPU to buy, but now that you can pick up the improved Ti version for the same exact price as the 1050 and the 1050 Ti are both $199.99, the 1050 Ti is a really great pick if you're looking to build a gaming PC and you're at a budget and you really don't want to consider one of the AMD GPUs. This GPU actually is a pretty solid piece of hardware that's going to get you playing almost every single game at 1080p and mostly at 60 frames per second. You might occasionally have to adjust your settings down to, say, medium graphics on some of the newer games, but for the most part, you're going to be able to have consistent gameplay on whatever you're playing. This GPU has a really low power consumption and comes along with 4GB of memory, which is just enough to get you where you need to go without killing your budget. Number 4, the GTX 1060 3GB. This is another great card if you're working within a tight budget that is still a step up from the 1050 Ti. The GTX 1060 3GB will give you faster clocking speed, even if your VRAM will be limited to just 3GB. But even then, considering that the VRAM doesn't affect a lot of games, this card is going to even in heavier graphical settings. And best of all, this card only costs about $230 on Amazon, which makes it just $30 more than the 1050 Ti. This card also has a low heat and power draw, so temperatures aren't going to raise too much, and you still get to have a great experience and gameplay with this card. Number 3, the GTX 1070 Ti. The GTX 1070 Ti kind of came out of nowhere when it initially was announced. A lot of players didn't expect a Ti variation of the 1070, yet here we are. If you don't want to shell out a lot of money, quite as much as, say, the 1080 Ti, this one offers similar power for a little bit less money. But simply put, if you are looking for a reliable graphics card that's going to always give you 60 frames per second in 4K, even in some of the newer AAA games, the 1070 Ti can't really steer you too wrong, especially being priced at $429.99. That's a significant price drop from, say, the 1080 Ti. You'll be able to use this GPU for a full VR experience easily, and you'll even find that the Ti has a much faster clock speed than the original 1070, which is an appreciated boost to the already strong graphics card. Number 2, the GTX 1060 6GB. In the same way that the 1070 is the go-to GPU to play any game in 4K, the same could be said about the 1060 6GB, where you're going to always get reliant gameplay for 1080p players. But the sacrifice here saves you nearly $200 between 1080 and 4K, and that's something to consider if you're working within a tight budget. And even more so if you don't even have a 4K monitor and you're playing on 1080 monitors. This GPU is one of the best cards on the market and provides players with a reliable 60 frames per second in all games played in 1080p. But even some games can still be played in 4K, which will look well even though you might have to reduce some of the settings down. But still, 4K looks amazing. but for $269, the amount of power you're getting per dollar spent is well worth it. And unless you're looking to build the strongest PC of all time, this is the standard card that should go in your computer if you're a dedicated gamer who clocks a lot of hours playing games and is more focused on 1080p. It's really that simple, and it's a great card.
If you're looking for more cool things, maybe you should check out G2A. They got awesome deals on Steam games, Xbox Live memberships, and much more. Go ahead and check them out using the link in the description below.
And finally, number 1, the GTX 1080 Ti. There's a reason everyone eventually compares their graphics card to the 1080 Ti. Simply put, this is the best graphics card on the market that provides the most power with full and consistent 4K gameplay at well above 60 frames per second. This is easily the fastest GPU on the market for regular consumers, and while it draws a lot of power and is still regularly priced at $700+, the performance here is really 0 to none. The threshold for overclockability is extremely high, and don't forget, if you are using, say, a 5K monitor that supports the resolution, this GPU would be able to handle that too, which makes for a really strong powerhouse of a machine, ready for whatever game you throw at it, and it's going to last for years to come. And that's really cool, especially knowing that the next generation of graphics card is coming up soon, but the 1080 Ti is still built to last, and that's what we appreciate about that card. But that's our list. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think the best card is, or what the best value for a graphics card is. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video.